Hi and welcome to the Boss Money Show, and in this lesson you're going to learn how to overcome the fear of failure. Let me tell you a quick story. So when I was in uni, I used to hate answering questions in class. You know, when it was time to go for seminars, I have my notes ready, I've done the work, I have the answers, everything is ready in my notes, it's color coded, red, green and black pen. But then when the question starts coming in, nope, don't ask me a question, okay? Why? Because I was afraid of getting the wrong answer, right? One day during my European Union class, after the class, my lecturer comes to me and she says, I see you and your notes. I know you know the answer. Why don't you say anything? Why are you always quiet? And I said to her, well, I'm afraid of getting the wrong answer. And then she goes, okay, so what if you get the wrong answer? Is the ceiling going to fall down on your head? You know, she was French. I don't know how to say French accent, but yeah. She made me realize that, you know, what's the worst that could happen, really? And so from that moment, I realized that I had this fear and it wasn't doing me any good, and I had to do something about it, right? So years down the line, not so many years, but during my life coaching certification program, I learned something absolutely powerful, right? And that's the first step to overcoming the fear of failure. Number one, define. My mentor said, what you can define, you can modify. Okay, so when you have the proper definition of what fear is and what failure is, you can take the energy of these words and transmute them into the energy of success, right? It's not about running away from your fears. It's about understanding what you're afraid of. The moment you understand it, it ceases to become something that has power over you. And then you can now take those actions that are necessary for your success. So what is fear? I learned this during my life coaching certification program. And it's this: fear is a knowledge gap. Like, it blew my mind. And it's true. If you don't know something, you don't know how it works. For example, you want to start your business, or you're in business, but you're afraid of the tech. You feel like, I'm not a techie person, or you're scared of the social media and the craziness that happens there, and you're like, I don't think I'm a social media person. Really, what the issue is that you don't know how to use the tech. If you are a lawyer like me, I had to learn how to use the tech. I had to learn how to do my email marketing. I had to learn how to design my blog. I designed my first blog myself. It took all night, but I was like, I had to do it. I have to do it. I'll figure it out. I did all of that. I figured it out because my success and my business, the value that I'm offering, and the gifts and the talents that I have, and the people that are waiting for me to serve them, they are waiting for me, okay? So my future depends on it, so I had to do it. So what happens is that fear is a knowledge gap. So when you are afraid of something, ask yourself, what don't I know? In that space, you're giving your mind work to do. And so your mind starts to think, okay, what other thing do I need to learn? Who do I need to talk to? What do I need to start doing? How can I learn about this thing that is giving me so much anxiety, right? So that's fear. And for failure, I learned this from my mentor, and he said, fail, F-A-I-L, is first attempt in learning. And that put everything in perspective. So when you're starting your business, you're starting your entrepreneurship journey, you see, especially if you're coming from a family of employees and you're the first person who is going on this business journey, you don't have the background, you're learning everything for the first time, and so you're going to fail. And as Steve Harris said, will you please fail? Because failure is first attempt in learning. You're learning. So it's okay. And learning is a part of growth. That means failure is a part of growth. And so we must embrace all aspects of growth. The ups and downs, good, bad, the ugly, everything, because it's part of growing. And growth is good. Growth is success. Growth is fulfillment. Growth is yay. Okay. So now we know what fear is, and you know what failure is, okay? You don't know something and you're learning, you see? So the more you learn, the more you reduce that knowledge gap, and then you start to know what to do, and then you stop being afraid, you stop being stuck, you stop being anxious, all of that. You start to take your power back and feel more in control of your actions, your decisions, your thoughts, right? So now the second step is to explore, okay? What are you exploring? Most people, when they are afraid of something, they run away from it. That's your first instinct. And it comes from our old brain, where we had to run away from tigers and creatures in the night, you know, because we were still like basic early man period. We had to physically battle against the forces of nature. So we had that fear instinct on a lockdown because it protected us. But now, where technology has come to make things a lot more easier, the things that we are afraid of most times are very rational. And so instead of running away from those things that make us afraid, how about you explore? And you explore by asking questions. Ask. Okay? Ask questions. So what is this thing I'm afraid of, right? I go back to my fear of getting things wrong, right? And it affected, so I would go for seminars, I would go for programs, I'll go for classes, I know the answer, and I would still behave the way I did in uni and not say anything. In fact, I would sit at the back of the class. I just wouldn't put myself out there because I was really afraid, what if I got it wrong? So the more and more I started to explore and go deep into this fear, like, okay, this fear, what is this really? Why does it keep coming up? Okay, so what if I should answer a question and get it wrong? What's going to happen next? And so I started to answer those questions. Well, really, nothing's going to happen. Okay, fine. If people laugh, and then what? Okay, if people laugh, okay. But then what are the chances of people laughing? We are in a learning environment. We're all there to learn. The moderator has assured us that there's no right answer. So really, can you really get it wrong? I started to really ask myself and challenge myself to go deep into the fear and face it. You see, when you start to ask those questions, you are taking your light and you are shining it ever so brightly on the fear. And what happens when you turn on the lights in the space of darkness? Darkness flees away because the darkness cannot comprehend the light, and you're able to see the truth from the lie. And then from that illumination, you're able to take more powerful actions, because now you can define and understand what it is you're really afraid of, and it's easy to take control over your actions. Okay, once you're done asking these questions, it doesn't necessarily mean that those vibrations will not remain in your body. They will still be there, because it'll take some time for you to get rid of those negative vibrations. But what you're going to do to make your space feel better is to do it afraid. Okay? Do it afraid. I remember when I recorded my first video and I posted my first video. Oh my days. First off, it took the whole night to record one video. Now I can do like 9 in a day, but it took the whole night to record one video. I was making mistakes. I wanted it to be perfect. I was trying to use the perfect words. I was trying to have the perfect look. I would start and stop. And it was crazy. I mean, really, thank you so much, David, for having that much patience with me because it was wild. And then when it was time to post that video, I had it on my phone for days before I finally plucked up the courage to actually post the video and share the video. You know, it's one thing to post a video on YouTube. It could be there and nobody knows it's there. It's another thing to share it. Share it on Instagram where people can see it, on your Facebook, on your WhatsApp, where you definitely know people can see it. The video wasn't the best video in the whole world. I mean, it's still here on my channel. You can go and take a look at it. But I did it anyway. Why? Because when you have your eyes on your vision, right, and you understand that you have a higher assignment and a higher purpose, your fears and insecurities come last, because you got to do what you need to do to make your vision come alive. Your vision is that important, it's that strong, it's that powerful to make you do that. But when you are acting from a place where all you want to do is just fulfill your own human needs, you want to you want to go on trips, you want to travel the world, and there is no greater calling, you find that it's a challenge to do the things that you need to do to be successful, to take massive action. Right, your actions will be mediocre at best, and you won't find that fulfillment. What you want to do is focus on your vision, on that higher assignment, your higher purpose, and then from that space, it's easier for you to take action. It's easier for you to face your fears. It's easier for you to shine your light on those dark areas. You can then get the courage to stand and face your fears. I just remembered, so I don't dream, right? I mean, I dream, but I don't remember if I dream or not. So my dreams used to be me running away from either vampires or white walkers or witches, demons, zombies. I have a lot of zombie dreams, dead things chasing me, and I'm always running. When I wake up tired and frustrated because I'm wondering, why am I running? Why can't I just stand and fight? Why do I have to run all the time? And then much later, one day, I had a dream and the zombies were coming. And in that moment, I said, it's okay, I'm just going to put them to sleep. And as they were coming, I turned around, I faced the zombies, and I said, go to sleep. And they all fell and slept off. One tried to come up, and I could sense the vibrations of fear. And immediately I said, no, I'm just going to tell it to go to sleep, go to sleep. And I woke up feeling so victorious because I've been running and running and running. And then I realized what happened. And what had happened was I had come to a space where I said to myself, I'm not running anymore. I'm going to face those things that are challenging, face those things that seem to be too big for me to handle. I'm going to face it and deal with it. I'm going to face it and do what needs to be done within my capacity and be okay with that. And so little steps add up. I become more consistent, and with that consistency, it begins to show in my work. I begin to get results, and that's what you need to do in order to take massive action. Even if it's scary, do it afraid. So to overcome your fear of failure so that you can take massive action for your business, first define what you're afraid of. Remember the definition of what it means to fail. You're only learning, okay? And then explore your fears. Don't run away from the fears. In your process of exploring, you're shedding light, and so those dark areas become bright. And with that understanding, explore your fear by asking questions. What am I afraid of? What's the worst that can happen? Okay, if I finally do it, how is that going to make me feel? This fear, how long have I had it? When did this start? And what is it trying to teach me? The moment you're able to ask these questions, you have more light shed on those dark areas, and then you can start to take massive action from that space of understanding. And then do it afraid, because the vibrations of that fear will not disappear immediately. as you do it afraid constantly, that motion starts to have an impact in your inner space, and you find that the things that you were once afraid of are no longer powerful. They have no control over you whatsoever. You are now in full control of your power, and it's so easy for you to take action. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.